Hey, YouTubers, family and friends. Leo is out here with Papa Ruel and Mommy Lizelle riding the motor in the driveway. Leo, Leo! Leo, Leo! Are you having fun? Huh? Are you riding? What? He loves just anything motorized now. Ever since I've been giving him rides on the four-wheeler and or going to the village in the truck or going to the city in the van or whatever, he loves motorized vehicles. Children. Well, it's been a really beautiful day. As you can see, it's toward the evening right now, and it's just gorgeous again. Oh, it's just crazy. My brother was saying that's El Nino is why it's so nice weather this year, and that's, I guess, what he thinks that's what's causing it to be so hot in Canada and northern United States this year too, with no snow and way above freezing temperatures in the middle of the winter. I don't know. I in my entire life can't remember the times that was ever like that. And this whole El Nino thing, phenomenon, I don't much believe in it. So I don't know what's going on there with that. What are you doing now?
We're going to buy barbecue. The head.
You have many money?
The head that's real. Listen,
the head of the chicken?
Yes, yes, they get the money from, ATM.
Oh, good luck.
They're going to buy.
Buddy, bye.
I will right back.
So they have barbecue here in the Philippines, and the neighbors cook it out on the road so people can buy it like street food. And they have the guts of the chicken, the feet of the chicken, and the head of the chicken, which there's really nothing to eat on it, but I don't know why they like it. But I like the gizzard of the chicken. I really love that. Buddy, no, you don't need to play that. Well, you can play it a little while, I guess. Do you like riding on the motor? Do you like riding the motor? Do you like riding? Huh? Okay, bye. See you later. So, yeah, as far as the whole weather pattern stuff, I don't know. All I know is that I've been here for 8 rainy seasons now, and this is the first one in 8 years that I've seen with pure blue skies like that. Yeah, it's totally unprecedented. Usually it's completely overcast and raining for days and weeks on end during rainy season here. And this is just amazing, the weather here right now. Amazing. I love it. So, yeah, this is the place to be, though. I'm completely convinced. I mean, through my 30s and 40s in the United States, everything just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Worse with the government intruding into your life in every little facet of your life. And finally in the 2000s, I said, this has got to stop. We've got to do something, make a change. With the whole way society and the laws are set up in the U.S., you're totally being fleeced at every corner, at every turn, fleeced or taxed. For licenses, fees of some kind, taxes of some kind. They all have you duped that you have to have insurance for everything, because a lot of the laws even tell you have to have insurance, or you can't do this or you can't do that. You have to have insurance. All this stuff just fleeces you to the point that you're poor all the time. You don't have a chance to ever become financially stable. And then what's your only avenue that they provide for you? The stock market, and everything else, like, well, gambling's always been there almost everywhere in the world. You could lose your money gambling on so many different things. But one thing I really love about the Philippines is that there's mom and pops businesses everywhere. There's some chains too, but the government doesn't drive the mom and pops businesses out of business, because the infrastructure is so low, and there's so many islands, 7,000 plus islands in the archipelago of the Philippines. It's almost impossible to have a chain dominate and wipe out everybody else, like Walmart did in the US, because they put a Walmart everywhere, right? And it drove out all the mom and pop businesses, because the infrastructure was all there, right? In the Philippines, the infrastructure is not there. But now in the Philippines, the road system has become a lot better in many areas, and it's catching up. It's always between 50 and 100 years behind the Philippines is compared to first world countries in so many ways. So you have a chance here, because insurances aren't required. I don't have one stick of insurance for anything, absolutely nothing. Medical, vehicle, home, you name it, I have no insurance. It's the biggest scam ripoff that there ever was devised. It's just another way for something to take your money. And those people are they're worse than bankers. And people that are scumbags and people that want to take advantage of other people, they get into the business of insurance. Because what do they tell you? Oh, don't you want to be sure that your family is taken care of? Don't you want to have that assurance that no matter what happens, that we can provide your family with benefits of money if something should happen to you, or if you're in a car accident? Don't you want to be assured that the money is going to be there so we can fix your vehicle? Or if someone sues you, or which in the Philippines there's not a massive campaign to sue you for every little tiny thing. That's the U.S. is like that, but in the Philippines it's not like that. I mean, yeah, there's lawsuits, but it's nothing. It's at a tiny fraction of the scale as it is in the U.S. And because the whole U.S. is a whole scam industry of everything, including lawyers and insurance. And all these markets are another totally manipulated scam that the governments and the big corporations and the people with big money and power totally manipulate these markets, so the little guy don't have a chance. They're being fleeced. A sucker is born every single minute on these people's in YouTube and the internet, in everyday life, saying, oh yeah, I'm making millions in the stock market. I traded Forex and I make millions, or I trade options and I make millions, or I trade bonds and I make millions. For one thing, majority of what they're saying is a lie. Just a bold-faced lie. Maybe they had some good hits here and there, but I bet you they lost more than they ever made. And for the guy that is in a 401k or a self-directed IRA, put money in it their whole lives, that's being slowly eaten up by fees, management fees. These fund managers are constantly taking some of your money, constant income stream for these managers all the time. So you're always losing some of your money that you're putting in there. Maybe it'll go up in value over the years, But at any time, it's at major risk. If you read the prospectus on almost every kind of mutual fund or an ETF or anything else that you get involved with, there's an out for them. Any kind of glitches or market turmoil or government mandates or anything else, you're going to lose. You're going to lose on that. If you don't have it in your hand and hold it, like a gold coin or a silver coin or cash in your hand, if you don't have it in your hand and someone else is managing it and it's just a digital number on a piece of paper or a report, it's all fantasy. It's complete fantasy until it's in your hands. Like this van I bought right here. This was $2.2 million I paid for this van, brand new in 2016, and I got 50,000 kilometers on it right now. After how many years is that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 years, and it's almost brand spanking new. There's one tiny dent in it. That's it. And I paid 2.2 million, which was 1 million is 10,000. No, 1 million is $20,000. So 45,000 approximately I paid for it, something like that. 45,000 brand new, and that was 8 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever. And I can hold it in my hand. I touch it. I use it every single day, right? And it was never lost. I don't have a speck of insurance on it. Never have. Same thing with this truck. I paid 1.1 million for that, and I've had that. That's a 2018 model, and it has what? I think it has 20,000 kilometers on it. So I've barely used either one of them, but they're dependable vehicles. I'm a single owner, never had a stick of insurance on it, paid cash for both of them, so I'll have them until they're dead. And yeah, it's a depreciating asset, but also you got to have a vehicle to get around. And if you buy one brand new and you just keep it and take care of it and do proper oil changes and all that, it'll be dependable for you for forever. And just buy a high quality brand, like the van is a Toyota and the truck is a Kia. So that's South Korea. The truck was made in, and the van is made in Japan. So high quality. So that's just one example. All this pie in the sky, riches it's fantasy, because it could go away in a heartbeat. Even some of these guys on YouTube that have these million plus subscribers, right? I mean, it could go away in a heartbeat if the internet shut down at any reason in the future, solar flare or nuclear EMP, or I mean, it could go on and on and on. These cyber warfare virus could wipe out the internet for years. You never know. So all these incomes would instantly go down to nothing. So don't ever count on anything. Just be thankful for what you have at the time you have it, and if something terrible happens, be positioned with savings in something other than a fiat currency. Fiat currency is cash from a country that just says, oh, because we promise you that this cash is going to be good in the future, you should have nothing to worry about. Why? Because the government is here to help. So, yeah, if you want to trust and believe in that, go ahead. But cash can go to zero in a heartbeat too. History says that. So no matter where you're at in the world, I would say keep some cash, but I would say your real wealth should be, for this earth, not for your spiritual life, but for on this earth, is be gold, land, buildings, business, you know, income producing business. That's real important too. So, anyways, there's a lot of things in the Philippines, like a lot of my videos say, is that you can survive and really save for the future and work for the future and it not be destroyed by divorce, because there's no divorce here. And that's how a lot of people are, just their whole lives are destroyed, just completely destroyed, and the family's destroyed and everything else because of divorce laws in all these countries. So Philippines, you don't ever have to worry about that. It's not going to happen, right? I mean, yeah, your spouse can abandon you or file for annulment, but if they file for annulment, it's never going to go through because both people have to sign. So you don't have to worry about that in the Philippines. Just have to worry about making sure that you can provide for your family and have your children and be able to train them in the ways of the Lord and teach them what they need to know to survive this earth. So their soul is first. Teach them about their soul and why we're here and the purpose of why you're here on this earth. And then from there, once your salvation is secured, then you go in the world where where you can best survive. You know, a lot of people feel like they're trapped. Well, you are if you don't have the money and the knowledge to know the big picture of the world of why you're here, what your what your goals are on this earth, and what is the guide to even know what to do once you're born on this earth. Well, the Bible pretty much lays it all out, right? Learn and obey God and trust in Him, and be fruitful and multiply, and do that. The only place you can really do that anymore without divorce or government's laws destroying you, or the system being so full of scams that you'll never become wealthy on this earth, is the only place left is the Philippines that I know of. Other than some Muslim countries, that some of them are like that too, but I'm not Muslim, so that's why I'm not in those countries. But there's a lot of fear out there, and don't be fearful, because if God's in your heart, you shouldn't have to ever be fearful. Fear is a tool of Satan and a tool of bad government trying to make you fearful of something. But the truth is, according to prophetic word of the Word of God, is that end times are coming, and God pretty much lays it out from His prophets in the Bible of how bad things are going to get on this earth. You can feel it. So many people can feel it happening. You feel it in your spirit. It's all over. It's in your face of wars and rumors of wars everywhere now. It just happened today where the U.S. and Britain just started firing missiles into Yemen to try to destroy some of the Houthis there, which have been, shooting missiles into ships, commercial ships going through the Suez Canal and the Red Sea, right? Well, that I also just heard today that because they did that both Turkey and Iran declared war. Now, I don't know all the particulars right now, but did Turkey declare war on the U.S. and Britain? I don't know, because Turkey is a NATO nation. They're part of NATO, which is and Britain and U.S. is part of NATO also. So, but I know that Turkey's been pissed, maximally pissed at Israel for slaughtering Hamas and all the, women and children and everybody. They're just slaughtering them, to just completely wiping them out, right? Millions. So this thing is getting out of control big time. So who knows what's going to happen, but this thing is escalating and escalating and escalating, and this is just the way it is. Like the run-up to World War II, the same kind of stuff happened, is where wars were popping up all over the place, and they kept increasing and increasing and increasing. Why? Because once governments and different organizations and factions and whatever, if they have the ability to wage war onto someone else, and they've been wanting to do it forever, once it starts with other people in other areas of the world, then they get emboldened to do the same thing. And that's why it's like a chain reaction. Once it starts, it keeps flaring up and getting bigger and bigger in more places of the world. And both Japan and Italy and Nazi Germany, right? They were the evil Axis, is what they called them in World War II area. They were against the Allies. And so that's all the way around the world that this was happening, right? So in all kinds of different countries, it's probably, I'd say maybe 50 to 70 different countries that war was being waged. And then after the World War II even ended, then because of the destabilization in so many areas of the world, wars continued, like the Korean War, Vietnam War, all these other wars continued because of the destabilization in China and all that stuff. So the same kind of stuff is happening now. It's the ramp up too, right? So if you take how many years it was from probably the 1930s, early 1930s is about the time that the financial collapse happened in the U.S. too, right? 1929, the stock market crashed. And that was the same era. The early 30s is when Germany started, taking Poland, and Japan was invading China and taking over the whole Southeast Asia. And that's what, in Italy was joining in on it. And so financial collapse came first. Then the wars started spreading like wildfire everywhere. And so keep that in mind for today. We've been teetering on the edge. Banks have been failing, and the bond market's been slipping real hard to the downside. And there's been unbelievable manipulation by the government to keep things stabilized. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So if we see some major, what actually is going to be the tipping point, we don't know, but it's going to be something probably that no one would even think of watching or looking for. And because of what happened with the pandemic and all the lies and the stuff and terrible things that governments did, locking people down for so long and everything, and all the lies and stuff that have come out since then of the truth of what was going on, people around the world are pissed. The cancer since that time has gone through the roof, and birth rates have gone off a cliff, which means since they started administering the to combat what was going on at that time, all the countries in Southeast Asia, including the Philippines where I'm at, birth rates have gone negative for the first time in history on record. Birth rates are going into the negative. Yeah, and it's still going down. South Korea is one of the worst ones in the Southeast Asia right now. This was just on Tucker Carlson with a guy. They were talking about it. Just how the birth rates are all around the world are just plummeting right now. All since this was going on. You know what I'm saying? So, what really was in those things? All kinds of reports and everything are coming out now from scientists doing studies and all that of all this DNA matter from who knows where in these things. And this the whole delivery system of these things messes with the human DNA and changes it. So the more of it that you get in you, the more it's going to change you from the human being you're supposed to be. So I mean, it's just, it goes on and on and on, right? So there's this massive fire of people in the world being pissed off of what's going on in the world and all this fake money throughout the world right now too.
Hi, what are you doing, little boy? What are you doing, little boy? You gonna walk with Daddy? You gonna walk with me? Okay.
So people are pissed all around the world, and the food system's going down because they're messing with the farmers in the Netherlands, and they ousted their government and got them out of there, and now they're doing the same thing in Germany right now, all for this global warming, no more diesel and gasoline burning vehicles anymore. It's all got to be electric, and what supplies electric EV vehicles and solar power and wind power and all that is silver. Silver is what is a huge component into making all these solar panels throughout the world, and we're talking massive amounts of silver that they need, and all these numbers that the Silver Institute and everything's coming out with are all baloney lies of what the demand for silver is going to be. Silver is going to get to the point it's going to break the COMEX, which is all these derivative markets. That's how they manipulate commodity prices. The powers that be, they, and that's what they're trying to do with Bitcoin right now too, with this Bitcoin ETF. And they're trying to manipulate it so they can control it. That's what they've been doing with gold and silver for centuries now. And the lies are getting so bad, and the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer, and they know they're being ripped off. A lot of people now, they're waking up to it, right? And they're pissed off. So there's going to be revolts and civil wars on a scale that this world has never seen before. And that's why I believe the prophetic prophecies of end times, we are on the cusp of it right now. Because it's just too good to be true. It's just in every facet of life, you can see it happening. And if you have any wherewithal and any reasonable deductions on all this, and a person that can see the big picture of what's going on in the world, come to the Philippines. I'm telling you, God told me to come here several years ago, and now I'm at the point where I've built my mansion, I've built my tower to my castle, I got a swimming pool, I got my vehicles. There's no credit here. This is no credit. This is all completely owned with no bills whatsoever. Got my own solar. My electric bill is very tiny. I'm surviving off of almost nothing, and we can even go a lot lower than that. If all my income streams stop today, I could still survive here very well, because the soil is so rich. You can grow whatever you want. There's fruit growing wild everywhere around me in this jungle, and it's very easy to be self-sufficient in the Philippines. So that's why I'm way the hell out in the jungle, right? Because away from the people. Because when all hell breaks loose, which it's going to, I guarantee you, the first world nations are going to be completely wiped out. Why? Because they're the ones that are so dependent on the system. When the system breaks down, they're going to go to panic. When they go to panic, people die. Men, women, and children. They will die, and they will start spreading disease and violence all over the world. And this is the kind of stuff that's going to happen. And what I would say is do your research. Research, prepare. Do whatever you can to stay away from the general population. Maybe a small group of people, like-minded people that you can really trust and depend on, but it has to be a very trustworthy relationship, because when things go to hell, trust goes down the tubes real fast. So the smaller your group, the better off you are. And the smaller you are, the more you have to be away from other large groups of rioters and gangs and stuff like that. So just letting you know, look at all the facets, all the possibilities. I've been preparing off and on my entire life, even when I was in the U.S. A lot of my preparedness stuff I shipped over here in billet buy-on boxes. I showed you in the last video what the billet buy-on box is. $100 a box. I shipped over 100 boxes, and there's no weight restriction on it, and you can put pretty much anything in there, except for things like ammunition, and you can't bring over weapons and stuff like that, but almost everything else you can. On my description of that, when I packed the boxes, I just put household items. And if they wanted a detailed description, I just put some of the items that were in the box. That's it. Plates, dishes, silverware, blah, 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 blah. So anyways, that's just some of the stuff I did. And I've been preparing for years for this, because you just feel it in your soul that something's happening. The whole thing is collapsing. It's all going down the tubes. You can see it. You can feel it. So what I'd say is share and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. It really would help me out. I appreciate that. And I will keep sounding the alarm as much as I can for you guys to give you tips on what you can do, how you can get here, and how you can survive. So just remember that during war and world upheaval, a lot of this stuff's going to be thrown out the window that you have to do today. A lot of the things that you are expected to do from any kind of so-called authority over you on this earth, that's all out the window when all hell breaks loose, because then all everyone's trying to do is survive, right? So don't get all screwed up in your head about, oh, I got to do this, oh, I got to do that, oh, I got to do this, oh, I got to do that. Yes, you got to do those kind of things to get over here, but once you're here and established and have your compound built and you're all prepared and you're building a family and you're protecting them and caring for them the best that you can, then you're golden, and then you just keep on doing what you need to do to keep preparing, right? And then teach others how to do the same thing. So that's about it for now. It's kind of getting late. But another beautiful day here in the Philippines. Just absolutely love it. So just y'all take care out there. Love you, and God bless. Bye-bye.